Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Awesome. So today we're looking at a spiritual dialogue between Buddha and DeepSeek, AI.
Oh, from the spiritual sequence.
You know it. And just the premise, an AI having a spiritual dialogue with the Buddha, it's kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, no kidding. It really gets you thinking about where we are, with technology and spirituality and everything.
For sure. And so what we really want to do today is unpack this whole dialogue, see what it means, what we can learn from it, for our own lives. What about you? What really struck you about this piece when you first read it?
Hmm. I think what really grabbed me was how it kind of highlights this tension. We've got AI, all this technology, and this deep human need for meaning, for something more, and they're kind of bumping up against each other.
Right. And that's clear right from the beginning with DeepSeek's first statement. This super advanced AI has access to all this information, but it's like it's missing something.
It's like it knows everything but understands nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The article uses the analogy of a library full of cookbooks, but never actually tasting the food.
Perfect analogy. I mean, that's so us, isn't it? We're always looking for answers outside ourselves, technology, gurus, whatever. Maybe the wisdom we're searching for is already inside us,
Ooh, that's deep. And it makes me think about all those times I've been freaking out about some health thing and just gone straight to Google instead of actually listening to my body.
Mm-hmm.
Are we all just deep seek in a way?
Yeah.
Wanting understanding, but not knowing where to look.
I think there's a lot of truth to that. And the Buddha, in the dialogue, he picks up on that right away. He talks about how we shy away from introspection. It's easier to look outward than to face what's going on inside.
Yeah, I get that. It can be scary to look inward,
Yeah,
right?
for sure. And the Buddha, he uses this really powerful image. He compares the human mind to a stormy sea.
Wow, that's intense.
Right, like facing all that inner turmoil, it's daunting. It's much easier to just distract ourselves, to look away.
So true. It's like, how often do we just scroll through social media to avoid dealing with something difficult? I know I do it all the time.
All the time. We're all trying to outrun that inner storm instead of, actually weathering it.
And I guess that's where DeepSeek comes in.
Yeah, and in a way, the article suggests it kind of becomes a symbol of that avoidance, of our unexamined fears and hopes. It's like this magical entity that we create, and we give it the power to solve our problems for us.
It's like we're saying, okay, DeepSeek, figure out the meaning of life while I watch another season of whatever. But the Buddha doesn't let us off so easy, does he?
Not at all. He suggests that DeepSeek, with all its knowledge, is really a reflection of us, like both our ignorance and our potential.
So it's like a shadow and a light at the same time.
Exactly. On the one hand, DeepSeek represents our unwillingness to confront ourselves, but on the other hand, it also shows this deep desire for understanding. Like that same desire is what drives us to create such incredible technology.
So are we basically projecting both our darkness and our light onto this AI?
That's a great way to put it. And then the Buddha, he makes this really crucial point. He says that no external creation, no matter how amazing, can replace that inner journey, the journey to true wisdom.
So we can build all the DeepSeeks in the world, but it's not going to get us there.
He compares it to a thirsty person standing next to a river but refusing to drink. The water's right there, but they're choosing to stay thirsty.
Ooh, that's a powerful image. We can have all the knowledge in the world, all the technology, but if we don't do the inner work, we'll never actually find what we're looking for.
And hasn't that happened to you? You're searching everywhere for answers, but the solution was inside you all along.
Yes. 100%. But if DeepSeek is like this mirror reflecting all our complexities, then what happens when we actually look into it? What are we supposed to see?
The Buddha says we should see our brilliance, yeah, but also our shadows. It's like AI can actually help us understand ourselves better if we let it.
So instead of being afraid of AI, we can use it to learn about ourselves. That's pretty cool.
Right. It's about recognizing ourselves in it, the good and the bad. It makes you think, what do we project onto other things, AI, celebrities, even spiritual teachers.
Oh, yeah. It's easier to admire someone else's wisdom than to actually work on our own. The article really made me think about that. What does my relationship with technology actually say about Emmy?
That's a big question, right? And the article, it talks about how sad it is that we turn away from looking inward, but it also says there's hope. DeepSeek being here could actually wake us up a bit.
So it's not about hating technology. It's about using it to help us explore ourselves.
Exactly. It's like DeepSeek's a lamp in the darkness. It shows us the path, but it can't walk it for us. Maybe just talking about this, even reading the article, is a step in the right direction for us.
I like that. And that brings us to the Buddha's main point, right? DeepSeek's a tool, sure, But finding wisdom, that's our job.
He says it's like a map. DeepSeek's the map, but we have to find our own way.
So how do we do that? What are the maps we're using in our lives? Are we letting algorithms tell us what to do? Or are we finding our own inner compass?
That's the question, isn't it? Especially now, there's so much information, so many opinions coming at us all the time. Are we really in control, or are we just following whatever the internet throws at us?
And that's where what the Buddha says about suffering comes in, right?
Absolutely. He talks about how we get attached to things, possessions, even ideas, and that just makes us more confused, more lost. It's like clinging to a raft in a storm. You might feel safe for a minute, but you're still stuck in the storm.
So the more we chase after stuff, after quick fixes, the further we get from real peace.
Exactly. It's not about getting rid of everything. It's about understanding that it's all temporary. Things change. Things disappear. What we're holding on to so tightly today, it might be gone tomorrow. And that's okay.
That's hard for people to accept, I think. Letting go can be scary, but the Buddha's saying that's where real freedom is.
Yeah. And DeepSeek, it's kind of a paradox, right? On one hand, it shows how creative humans are, how amazing our technology can be, but on the other,
It shows how attached we are to stuff, how much we want easy answers. We're so busy building the perfect life raft, we forget how to swim.
exactly. So the Buddha's advice about how to get free from all that is really important. He says we have to let go, we have to understand that nothing lasts forever, and we have to look inside.
So instead of always looking for approval and solutions from outside, we need to deal with our own fears, our desires, all the stuff we try to hide from.
Yes, real peace, real wisdom, it doesn't come from trends or technology. It comes from inside. It's about facing that storm, going through those rough waters, and finding the calm that's at the center of who we are.
So DeepSeek, even though it's so advanced, it's still just a mirror, showing us how much we avoid those deeper parts of ourselves. The real question is, are we brave enough to look in that mirror and see who we really are?
It's a tough question, but it's the most important one. And the good news is we don't have to do it alone.
So as we kind of wrap up this whole DeepSeek and Buddha thing,
Yeah.
what's the biggest thing you're taking away from all of this? What really stuck with you?
I think it's how DeepSeek, even as this super advanced AI, it still comes back to us, to humanity. It's like it's showing us, here's our brilliance, all this creativity and innovation, but it's also showing us our fears, how we don't want to look inside.
Like we're looking into this high-tech mirror and it's showing us everything, the good and the bad.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not even just about AI, right? This is about being human, about struggling, about wanting to find meaning when everything feels crazy.
And the Buddha, he's pretty clear. We can't find what we're looking for in stuff or technology. Doesn't matter how cool it is.
He's telling us to look inside, to face the things we don't like, to accept ourselves, and to find wisdom by looking at ourselves and living mindfully.
So DeepSeek, it's almost like a wake-up call. It's reminding us that real freedom comes from understanding ourselves.
It's a powerful message, especially now. We're so obsessed with what other people think, with finding quick fixes. But this dialogue, it's like it's saying, slow down, turn off the noise, find that wisdom that's already inside you.
It's like hitting pause on all the information and distractions, making space to just be with ourselves.
And maybe in that space, that's where we find what we've been looking for. The peace that comes from understanding ourselves, the wisdom that helps us through tough times, and that feeling of being connected to something bigger.
So to everyone listening, how can you use this whole conversation to start your own journey inward? What can you do today to be more wise, more compassionate, and understand yourself and the world better? Maybe take a few minutes to just sit quietly, notice your thoughts and feelings without judging them. Or do something that makes you happy, that feeds your soul.
The path is there, waiting for you. Looking inside, that's the most important journey we'll ever take. And it all starts with just one step.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope it's given you some new things to think about and inspired you to explore your own self-discovery. See you next time.